Dear Mr. Speaker, honourable members of the UK Parliament, dear friends, first of all, allow me to thank you. Thank you, dear Lindsay, for the invitation to visit London today. I received it a few days after you returned in April of this year from a small Ukrainian town of Bucha. At the very beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion, this town endured heinous war crimes and crimes against humanity. Just imagine, during 33 days of the Russian occupation, in Bucha community, almost 1,200 peaceful residents were brutally murdered. On that day, evil descended on this small town. That's what you said, dear Lindsay, in your speech. And back then you spoke about a war that Ukraine did not start and did not want. And he also said that for you it was extremely important to be a voice against this brutal Russian invasion. And you said, we are steadfast in our support for Ukraine. And you also said that your struggle is our struggle. And just as I will never forget those powerful words, I will never forget the tears, dear Lindsay, that welled up in your eyes. So I'm here today to thank you for your support. Thank you. Brown, who in 1944 visited Normandy after the Allied landings. It's you, dear Lindsay, became the first UK speaker to visit an active combat zone. Honourable members of the UK Parliament, it is a great honour for me to address you today as friends of Ukraine and as representatives of one of the oldest and most glorious parliaments in the world. A parliament where, since the very first days of the Russian aggression, took the side of truth, the side of justice, the side of Ukraine. A parliament to which today I had the honor of delivering the diplomatic note that brought into force the 100-year partnership agreement between the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and Ukraine. Signed in Kiev on the 16th of January this year by President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and Prime Minister Keir Starmer, it was ratified by the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine on the 17th of September. And I'm happy that it is here in London today that the 100-year partnership agreement has entered into force. Thank you for this. Dear friends, we open a new era in our relations. And today, I wish to express my gratitude to each and every one of you, to the British people, to Parliament, to the government, and to the royal family, for all the support you have been consistently providing to Ukraine from the very first day of the Russian invasion. Today, on the eve of the fourth winter of war, one that may prove to be among the most difficult in Ukraine's modern history, We are in greater need than ever of the strengthening of your reliable assistance. Russia systematically and persistently destroys Ukrainian critical infrastructure, our energy facilities, leaving Ukrainians without peace, without light, without heat, without power. Russia is killing peaceful civilians in our cities and towns, killing entire families all at once. Russia is stealing Ukrainian children and, in an appalling display of cynicism, suggesting they be traded for captured Russian soldiers. But Russia not only sows death and continues its aggression, like it's doing with the Shahed drones that you see displayed here, Russia every time keeps testing the limits of what is allowed. Russia, as it turns out, can influence decisions of the European Union by blocking Ukraine's path to the EU through certain member states. Russia, not being a member of NATO, apparently has a veto right in NATO through the individual countries, and Russia can influence NATO's seemingly sovereign decisions, including those concerning Ukraine. The choice of entire peoples and nations and yet Russia faces no response and bears no responsibility. It is artificially maintaining the longest blackout at today. As much as decades ago, Russia understands only one language, and it's not in his famous Fulton speech, when describing the nature of the Russians back then, he said nothing they, Russians, admire so much as strength, and there is nothing for which they have less respect than for weakness, especially military weakness. Dear friends, the democratic world has no right to linger. It has no right to turn a blind eye to Russia's dictatorial succession. Russia, now and today, must receive a firm and resolute response in the form of strengthened sanctions, national and international sanctions, personal and sectoral sanctions, secondary sanctions, sanctions that cannot be avoided or circumvented. Frozen Russian assets must be used to compensate for the damage caused by Russia itself. Today, here, within the walls of the UK Parliament, I call on you to, dear British colleagues, to initiate debates and adopt a resolution designating Russia a terrorist state. Because terror is Russia's true nature. Because otherwise, Russia will never become different unless we make it change. I also appeal to you to ensure the maximum strengthening of Ukraine through effective air defense systems and the expansion of our long-range capabilities. For a powerful Ukrainian army is not only the guarantee of our independence and sovereignty, It is also the guarantee of establishing a lasting and just peace that Ukrainians so desperately seek. And not only Ukrainians. Honorable Mr. Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, dear friends, I call on you to strengthen the recognized leadership of the United Kingdom in assisting Ukraine. I call on you on behalf of the entire Ukrainian Parliament, on behalf of my compatriots who every day pay a terrible price for their freedom and independence, for the right of choice, for the right to live. Dear friends, we will not cease our struggle, for that would mean the end of our existence. We will not give up a single inch of land occupied by the enemy, for our children and grandchildren are to live here. We will not abandon any of our compatriots, whether under occupation or held in captivity, for they are our people, our citizens of our country. But I know for sure you would not stop to fight. You would not give up. You would not abandon. So, dear friends, thank you for your steadfast support, and glory to Ukraine.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for visiting us today and for your powerful speech. The Lord Speaker is unfortunately unable to be here this morning. He sends his apologies and is looking forward to meeting you privately later today. On behalf of the Lord Speaker, I thank you for your resolute leadership of the Verkhovna Rada and recognize the bravery, strength, and resilience of the people of Ukraine in the strongest possible terms. Your courage in the continued fight against aggression is an inspiration to us all. Ukraine is not only defending its sovereignty and its territorial integrity, but also the values and principles we all stand for: democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Aggression must not prevail. I reaffirm our unwavering support for you in this unprovoked war of aggression. We condemn unreservedly attacks on civilian targets and vital infrastructure, and the unrelenting drone and missile attacks, which must be and are so devastating for your people. The illegal kidnapping and brainwashing of Ukrainian children must stop, and all must be returned to their families and homeland. We will not forget them. The United Kingdom will continue to work with you and other allies. This war will be won with a global response. We will keep working together on these alliances. The UK is providing extensive military and civilian support, and I know many Ukrainian people have sheltered here in the United Kingdom. We support work towards a just and lasting peace and future security guarantees which will allow you to feel safe again. We stand ready to support peace when it comes and to aid recovery, reparations, and reconstruction. There should be no peace negotiations or agreements without Ukrainian voices as part of the resolution. Russia must take responsibility for its illegal invasion and make a meaningful contribution to talks to end the war. Until then, we call for the tightest sanctions and economic pressure to be brought to bear on the aggressor. As parliamentarians, we understand the importance of dialogue, cooperation, and the rule of law. At the Verkhovna Rada, you have shown great leadership and resilience, continuing your legislative and scrutiny work, representing your people under extraordinary circumstances. This is a testament to the strength of your democratic institutions, the will of the Ukrainian people, and the determination of Ukrainian members of Parliament. Relations between our two parliaments has never been closer. Members of the House of Lords have repeatedly voiced solidarity and support for Ukraine. A report issued last year by our International Relations Defence Committee denounced Russia's invasion of your territory and country as illegal and unprovoked. We will continue to demonstrate our solidarity, support, and commitment to our shared values. Mr. Chairman, we are looking to you, and you are fighting for in Ukraine goes well beyond geopolitics. It is about people, families torn apart, communities under siege. Ukraine is a nation striving for peace, justice, security, and freedom. Mr. Chairman, we stand with Ukraine and your Parliament today, tomorrow, and for as long as it takes. Slava Ukraini!